Shalom, I give first and foremost, wanting to call praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors being to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, brother, from the stern of Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, man, this is part 2 of the video that I started earlier regarding the military drills. All right, which we kind of went into a bit of Jade Ham. Back in 2015, 2016, they were doing Jade Ham drills with mock cities. Like we went into a mock city, basically being a replica of an actual city. But they do mock drills because basically what happens is when they're getting ready to storm an area or they're getting ready to invade, so to speak, they have to know the terrain, they have to know the ins and outs in order to get the target. And like we said, you Israelites will be the target. Okay, you will be deemed for Esau's extermination squads because Esau has a short time and it's his ultimate goal to stop us from getting the kingdom of heaven, man. Okay, so with that being said, man, you know, the brothers out there, the few brothers out there that's actually going into this information, hey man, the Lord, he warned us and he told us to go out there and teach this thing and warn our people. Okay, but like we said in the last segment, Jake is so lackadaisical to the point they don't even see it coming. And that's like if you in a fight, like one thing about boxing, they say the punch that you don't see coming is always the one that knocked you out. Like when you watch the making of the first Creed movie, he had to take a few real hits in order for him to be built up, you know, because when you're boxing and you're sparring, you take real hits. So I remember it was a cut scene. They didn't put it in the movie, but basically they was behind dude and then they said, hey, turn around. And they stole him and bam, knocked him right out. So he had to undergo being knocked out for real. And what knocked him out? The punch he didn't see. Okay, so it's going to be the same thing for you Negro, Latino, and Native American on this side. Because when I look at our people, man, I mean, they're totally oblivious. They're totally lost. Okay, they're so engaged in this life. Okay, surfeiting, you know, riding in the daytime, you know, drunkenness, giving over to marriage, giving it to marriage. Wanting the American lifestyle like the Apostle Gabar quoted earlier. The American dream is dead. Okay, and that was never for you. And what proves that is if you watch a series on Amazon Prime called it's called Them. Okay, it's basically like a spinoff Jordan Peele horror flick, but basically it deals with these Jakes that moved to Compton in the 1950s, which was predominantly Edomites. And then in the HOA contracts, they basically stated that they couldn't rent to Negroes or anybody with Negro blood. You see? So with that being said, they thought they was having the American dream because they moved from down south and they moved all the way over to the West Coast, and they thought things were going to be good because they were in a more liberal type city. But them crackers, man, got them out of there in 10 days. Okay? Basically 10 days. It took them 10 days to get Jake up out of there before they drove Jake crazy. Okay? So that shows you that the American dream is ultimately dead. So your best bet and the focus that you should be depending on is the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, because he has men out here to warn you, to tell you, to warn you of the coming hell. Okay, because we broke down the Project Cypher as well, basically of them doing military drills at nighttime, where you got these splinter cell type operatives dressed in all black. They coming down from helicopters, you know, like a thief in the night. They swift. You know, they got these night vision goggles, man. They got lasers on the rifles, and they're very swift, man. Okay, and they're training in the dark. Why? Because they're getting ready to cut the power. Okay, hence Project Cypher and these alleged blackouts. And another thing that stood out as well, brothers, was the fact that they're doing it in a big city like New York. Like when you listen to the guy in the last video, he told you that usually they conduct drills like this, like down there off the coast. But he said this is the first time they did it in a major city. And out of all the cities, they choose New York. Why? Because New York is the biggest city in America, for one thing. Okay, it's the most prominent, the most notable. And you have 5 boroughs, which every borough in New York represents its own city. Okay, so if they're able to take over New York City and they're doing these drills in one of the most diverse cities in the world, then Chicago, LA, Dallas, Atlanta, Kansas City, it's gonna be a fucking cakewalk, man. You see? And also, I've been noticing as well a lot of those helicopters flying over the Kansas City, and they're transporting a lot of this cargo C4 tanks. Not tanks, rather, but a lot of this ammunition, a lot of this military warfare, they're transporting them around the country. Okay, because hey, who's to say that these ain't UN troops that's doing these blackout operatives? or these operations? Who's to say they ain't? Because the UN is here. Okay, they even showed you a few years ago when brothers used to get Bible footage of these tanks and MRAPs being hauled in your local cities through freight train. Okay, so the UN is here. So hey, when an hour of martial law is instated or reinstated or instituted, they coming for the guns. That's when all hell is gonna break loose, because they're gonna need some type of scenario in order to bring back nullify chaos, because it's gonna get quite chaotic once the food and the grid goes down. Once the food is depleted, the water is turned off, and the lights go out. When people start to run scarcity on products and goods for their necessities, then that's when people are gonna start to lose it, and that's when pillaging, rape, rob, murder, all these things are coming back in a big way. Just so you know. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah 65, and I'm gonna start at verses. Damn, I had it earlier. Damn, Isaiah 65. I know I'm overlooking it. Yep, Isaiah 65, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, "But they are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop." Who was that troop? Esau, man. Okay, and that furnished the drink offering into that number. "Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter." Okay, meaning that you're gonna eat this judgment. Okay, you're gonna bow down to the slaughter. You're gonna eat this judgment. Okay, and it ain't gonna be pretty, because they're not gonna discriminate against women, elderly, young, children, infants. They're not gonna discriminate, man. You see, Esau has no particular age limit or cap when it comes to blowing you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out of the park. Okay, he has no cap on that. And it says, "Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter." It says, "Because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear." Right, and how is he speaking? Through the prophets. Okay, and it says, "And ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that where I delighted not." Okay, the 187s of the black woman, if you know what I mean, those Baal clinics, when she's getting her offspring ripped out of her. Okay, the adultery, the twerking, the serving of the gods, the disrespecting the prophets of the Lord, and the list goes on. Okay, now I'm reading in the NIV version. "But as for you who forsake the Lord and forget my holy mountain, who spread a table for fortune and fill bowls of mixed wine for destiny," it says, "I will destine you for the sword, and all of you will fall in the slaughter. For I called, but you did not answer, and I spake, but you did not listen. You did evil in my sight and choose what displeases me." Okay, so that's the point. So expect blackouts, expect mass food shortages, expect more chaotic riots, expect all types of evil that's gonna happen on this place, man. Okay, because you jakes, you're not paying attention. All right, so this is the book of Jeremiah 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 21. It says, "Therefore thus says Yahweh, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them, and the neighbors and his friends shall perish." Right, because there's gonna be a lot of infighting. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of bickering, a lot of betrayal. You see, and it says, "Thus says the Lord, behold, a people coming from the north country." Okay, and you think of the north country, you're thinking about Russia. Okay, the nations that harbor, that's siding with these other nations. Okay, because you are gonna have martial law in this country. Once the lockdowns are reinstated, once these particular pestilence are way out of whack, you are gonna have martial law at an all-time high, and it's gonna be a time that you're not gonna even be able to leave a crib unless you got those proper papers, and we know what those papers are. Okay, the MOT to the B. Okay, ultimately that's what it is. You know? And reading here, and it says here, "Behold, the Lord said, the Lord, behold, a people coming from the north country, a great nation should be raised from the sides of the earth, and they should lay hold on bow and spear, and they are cruel and have no mercy." They ain't gonna show no mercy to you jakes, man. Okay, they not gonna show no mercy. They gonna starve you out. Okay, and they gonna put you down with extreme prejudice, man. That's why they've been practicing these mock drills of your neighborhoods. And a lot of the targets are going to be you, because the so-called white man has a perpetual hatred for you, man. Okay? And it says here, "And the voice roared like the sea, and they ride upon horses, set in array as men for war against thee, O daughter of Babylon." Okay? Shield and buckler. Okay? So it's going to get bad for you, man. And it says, "And we have heard the fame thereof, and our hands wax feeble, and anguish taking a hold of us, as pain as a woman in travail. So go not forth into the field." It says, "Go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way, for the sword of the enemy in fear is on every side," meaning they're going to circumvent you into this thing. You're going to be capsulated in. they're gonna trench you in, man. Okay, and another good precept, I gotta go, but another quick good precept is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, verses 72, when it says they should be like madmen, sparing none. All right, so anyway, brothers, I'm gonna end it there. All praises and glory, honor, that's to Yahweh, Shem Yahushai. And with that, shalom and a bubble ball.